she was pregnant and she was going to be induced that day, and you decided to put your hands on her. I don't understand how is she getting in your head that you would be hitting a pregnant woman who's about to deliver your child. And she had bruising and swelling to the eye, along with busted vessels in her eye. That's what you did. I used to do CPS cases, and parents would tell me I will walk through fire for my children.
Yes, ma'am.
They would say that because they knew nobody had a fire for them to walk through. Court is finding you guilty.
All right, folks, buckle up because today's court hearing is intense from the start. We've got a defendant sitting in front of the judge for abusing his pregnant girlfriend. Yeah, you heard that right. A woman about to
Understand you're charged with assault of a pregnant person. That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. I'm looking at this plea bargain agreement, and there's to be no harmful or injurious contact with Stephanie Ortiz.
That's her by her request, Judge.
I'm
We
not
filed an
following. I'm not going to follow that.
even though that's her request.
No, I mean, no, even though it's a request, according to what I'm about to receive, he is a person who is hitting on, not in a loving manner, a pregnant person. I mean, was she pregnant at the time?
Yes, Your Honor.
So if, you know,
She's
I-
requesting, and I'm sorry, Judge, may I speak?
sure.
She's requesting it for her convenience. They've been doing custody exchanges for the last almost a year through a third-party person, and it's her request. She reached out to me, filled out an affidavit of non-prosecution and requested that. So
I'm not following that. So if you all want to withdraw your plea now, you can, but I am not doing a no harmful or injurious contact for somebody who's accused, and I haven't read the, the steps yet, who's accused of hitting a pregnant person.
that's fine, Judge. They're no longer in a relationship. The only relationship is for the benefit of their children. He has no interest in communicating with her beyond that.
All right, so I'm not going to follow that. So y'all have a choice. Either you can go to jury trial, or either you all can change that part of your plea bargain agreement.
We're proceeding with the no contact, Judge.
All right, if you all want to change that. Court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, we would just request that you follow the agreement between the state and defense. Mr. Casillas is wanting to move forward in a direction that's appropriate for his children. He understands what went wrong, and he wants to take full responsibility for that. And he has had no issues since the arrest on this date, and they have been successfully co-parenting since that time. There was a CPS case, Judge, that was closed out for no finding.
All right, how old are you?
21, Your Honor.
How many children do you have?
2, Your Honor.
What are their ages?
1 year and 6 months.
1 year and what?
1 year and 6 months.
Are you employed?
Yes, Your Honor.
What do you do?
I work at Amazon at facility warehouse.
All right, so why do you keep hitting on Stephanie Ortiz? At one point, I'm assuming you loved her because you have children with her.
Yes, Your Honor.
So why do you keep hitting on her?
It was just me not being in the right state of mind, me letting my feelings get to myself and not just thinking right and thinking straight.
That makes no sense to me.
Your Honor, it was just my fault. I let my feelings get to myself, let her get in my head and
Let what?
let her get in my head, and I just reacted in a wrongful way.
No, but I mean, you're up here hitting someone. Honestly, I don't even know why I should follow this plea, but your attorney is telling me that she's filed a affidavit of non-prosecution. But according to this, she was pregnant and she was going to be induced that day, and you decided to put your hands on her. I don't understand how is she getting in your head that you would be hitting a pregnant woman who's about to deliver your child.
No, Your Honor, what that day was in the day we were supposed to get induced. But I believe the hitting was before that. So it was just the marks that had came about.
But you still hit her while she was pregnant and she was close to her due date.
deliver his child, and he decided to put his hands on her. The judge doesn't hold back, absolutely tearing into this guy as the courtroom sits in stunned silence. She lays out.
Not that it's appropriate to hit anyone anyway,
No, it's not, Your Honor.
but obviously she was pregnant. And what she's saying in this documentation, I want you to tell you the reason why I'm saying no contact,
Yes, Your Honor.
because what she's saying in this police report is this is not the first time that you've been abusive to her. And the police took photos and she had bruising and swelling to the eye along with busted vessels in her eye. That's what you did. So the two children you have, is this a boy and a girl or two boys or two girls?
Girl and
All right. So what's your daughter's name? Sarabella.
she's a year and 7 months.
All right. So she's a year and 7 months. I guarantee you she knows that you've been abusive to her mom. Do you love your daughter
I love her with all my heart.
with all your heart? Would you do anything for her?
I would, Your Honor.
I used to do CPS cases and parents would tell me I will walk through fire for my children.
Yes, Your Honor.
They would say that because they knew nobody had a fire for them to walk through.
Mhm.
But I believe you when you say you love your daughter.
Yes, Your Honor.
So how would you feel if your daughter became of age and she ends up with somebody like you who hits on her? Would you be okay with that?
I'll be very upset, Your Honor.
And so your daughter is learning what it means to show love is to hit on people, and might makes right.
Your Honor, that's
You're going to have to change your ways.
yes,
You
Your
are
Honor.
not to have any contact with Stephanie Ortiz. And anybody else you get into a relationship yet, don't let them meet your publicist. Let them meet you and tell them, hey, want to let you know I had this abusive acts in my background,
Yes, Your Honor.
because then they can make an informed decision about whether or not they want to date you. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 6 years deferred adjudication.
Out the facts. Bruising, swelling, busted vessels in her eye. And then she hits him with the reality. I used to do CPS cases. Parents would tell me
There
that
be no contact with Stephanie Ortiz. There's to be the BIPP course, parenting classes, that can be with rainbows. There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. That will be waived once he completes parenting classes. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular UAs. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Positive, Your Honor.
And what are you going to be positive for?
I mean, no, negative, Your Honor.
Negative? Okay. So you haven't used anything.
No, I-
I think Amazon drug tests, do
Yes,
they
yes,
not?
yes, Amazon drugs, yes, ma'am.
All right, there's to be regular UAs. I'm going to want field visits one time every 3 months. Proof of employment within 15 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
You already did mention the regular.
Yes. All right, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
they'd walk through fire for their kids because nobody else would. Ouch. That's not just a reprimand. It's a gut punch, exposing the raw selfishness of someone who claims to
Did you understand in each cause number, you're charged with the offense of aggravated robbery? That's a first-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments in each cause number, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge, but ask to waive PSI.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Just ask you follow the plea bargain here.
All right. And the cause number ending in 2528, the court will find you guilty, sentence you to 5 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. This will run concurrent with 2023 CR 2529. Taking consideration 2023 CR 2621, 2527, 699185, and 184. There's to be restitution, if any, to Isaac Cervantes, Cameron Carroll, Kyle Sutherland, and Stephanie Lefevre, and also no contact with any of those parties. And then in cause number ending in 2529, court is finding you guilty, sentence you to 5 years in the prison.
love but can't even control their anger. The tension ramps up when the judge goes over the plea agreement. The victim requested no harmful contact, but the
Credit for any time served, concurrent with 2023 CR 2528. Taking consideration 2023 CR 2621, 2527, County Court Cause number 699185184, no contact and restitution to the following: Isaac Cervantes, Cameron Carroll, Kyle Sutherland, and Stephanie Lefrayre. I'm pronouncing that name all sorts of ways. I apologize to Stephanie. All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're off the record. How old are you?
17.
You're 17 and you're doing this foolishness. Things, if you want things, you got to get a job so you can have things. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
For a 17-year-old, you've chosen a hard road for yourself because you're going to prison, 17. And you're going to be in prison with a bunch of people who are there for murders and other things. When you go to prison, don't become institutionalized. You're 17, you still have a chance to make something out of yourself and do better in your life. So keep your head down and do your time and try to improve yourself. You could even take college classes while you're at the prison. And if you dropped out of school and don't have your high school diploma, you can get your high school diploma while you're there. So don't come out of prison having just wasted time, okay? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you, Mr.
Judge straight up says, no, I'm not following that. And you can feel the gavel pounding in your head as she explains why. This man isn't just some small-time offender. He assaulted a pregnant person. There's no room for convenience pleas when a human life was threatened. The defendant's attorney tries to advocate for him, saying he's been co-parenting successfully and taking responsibility, but honestly, the courtroom energy is already heavy with disbelief. Then comes the defendant's own words, and oh boy, does he make it worse. Instead of showing remorse, he tries to argue about timing, claiming the hitting happened before she was induced. Are you kidding me? He's literally in court for abuse, and the first thing he does is argue over how pregnant she was. It's jaw-dropping, infuriating, and a perfect example of someone completely disconnected from accountability. The judge doesn't let him off the hook, systematically dismantling every excuse. She drills him on the long-term implications, especially for his children. His daughter, barely a toddler, is already learning from his actions. The judge doesn't sugarcoat it. What he's modeling to her is that hitting is a way to show love. She makes it painfully clear he has to change his ways. No contact with Stephanie Ortiz, no letting anyone new in his life be unaware of his past abuses. And then the sentence drops, 6 years probation. Honestly, even in a courtroom that's all about second chances, that feels almost too light given the severity. Hitting a pregnant woman? That's not just reckless. It's unconscionable. But before we even move on, the judge lays out the rest. Parenting classes, community service, regular reporting, and strict employment limitations. The tone is firm, relentless, but there's a thread of hope. Maybe he can turn this around. Maybe he won't continue down this path. But watching him sit there, barely blinking, barely showing shame, you can't help but worry. Can a man like this really learn responsibility? Or is this just the beginning of a very dark story for his family? And just when you think the intensity couldn't get higher, the hearing pivots. We go from an abusive adult to a 17-year-old kid facing up to 99 years in prison for aggravated robbery. Yeah, you heard me. 17 years old, standing in front of a judge, his whole life potentially ripped apart. You start to think about your own teenage years. Most of us were sneaking out, getting into trouble, maybe fighting, but never staring down decades behind bars. So now we shift gears to this 17-year-old facing aggravated robbery charges, a first-degree felony with a punishment range that's literally terrifying, anywhere from 5 to 99 years. That's right, a teenager, not even out of high school yet, potentially staring down decades in prison. The judge doesn't mince words. After reviewing the evidence, it's clear there's enough here to find him guilty. And just like that, the courtroom energy shifts from disbelief to the sobering reality of consequences. The teen steps up for sentencing. You can feel the weight in the room. The judge lays it out cold, methodical, no sugarcoating. 5 years for one count, another 5 for the next, restitution to multiple victims, and strict no-contact orders. Boom, 10 years total. And the kid? He just nods, doesn't flinch, walks to his cell like it's a routine check-in. You can't help but think about that moment, the calm exterior hiding what must be a storm of emotions inside. At 17, this is life-changing. He's still young, but he's now stepping into a world of hardened criminals, facing the harsh realities of prison life. The judge doesn't stop at just handing down years. She hits him with advice, real, practical, and a little parental in tone. Don't get institutionalized. Keep your head down. Take college classes. Get your high school diploma if you dropped out. It's tough love in its purest form. You get the sense she's not just punishing him. She's trying to give him a roadmap to salvage a life that's suddenly been derailed. This isn't about sympathy. It's about survival and a chance at redemption, if he chooses to take it seriously. And here's the kicker. While some viewers might feel conflicted about 10 years for a 17-year-old, the context is brutal but fair. Aggravated robbery isn't some petty shoplifting charge. It's violent, it's life-altering for the victims, and it's a wake-up call for the offender. The judge balances punishment with opportunity, a rare combination that leaves you nodding in respect for the court's firmness, even if it's hard to stomach the reality of a teenager facing a decade behind bars. Meanwhile, in the adult case, you can't stop thinking about the contrast. One defendant gets probation for assaulting a pregnant woman, a crime with deeply personal and lasting consequences, while the teen is looking at serious time for violent robbery. It's a stark reminder of how the justice system weighs age, intent, and circumstance, and it sparks the kind of debate that's impossible to ignore. What's enough punishment? What's fair? And more importantly, can either of these people truly learn from their mistakes? Watching both of these hearings back to back, it's hard not to feel a mix of disbelief, anger, and a strange sense of hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, the adult realizes the gravity of his actions. Hope that the teen takes the judge's advice seriously and uses this time to rebuild his life instead of wasting it. But one thing's clear. Both of these cases hit you in the gut, and they leave you thinking long after the gavel drops.